We're at war with the criminal cartels, and Governor Pritzker protects criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats every day in that state, along with Mayor Johnson. We proved that. The first week of the administration, I went to Chicago. I started an operation there. The first day, we arrested 9 sexual predators, most of them child rapers. We arrested 9 members of TDA. Several of those TDA members had a pistol, an illegal pistol with a switch on it, which makes that pistol fully automatic. We arrested 2 illegal aliens that had a homicide conviction. That was the first day in Chicago. So, President Trump and this administration, yeah, we're at war with the criminal cartels and those who want to murder and rape the American citizens. You're damn right.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at CD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to head back on over to the People's Republic of Chicago to discuss Operation Midway Blitz. Why do I want to discuss this again? I want to talk about it because of this, right? I spend so much of my day surfing the internet, looking through a bunch of different news articles and news clips, a lot of them, most of them revolving around mass deportation. And one of the things that's really starting to stand out to me that I want to point and make notice of is how when it comes to illegal immigrants resisting arrest, right? When it comes to that, I'm starting to notice, and it's becoming more and more obvious to me, that when Black and or white illegal immigrants are arrested by ICE, they typically go without issue. It's very rare that I see a video of them resisting. It's typically a non-issue. But whenever the illegal immigrant happens to be Hispanic, it's a big ordeal, and they're fighting it, they're not complying, and it turns into a mess. And I really want to break down and get into why I believe that that is. Please hear me clearly. I'm not saying that this has anything to do with Hispanic culture or something intrinsically, and they just aren't capable of listening and following orders. Is something that's genetic. I am not saying anything of that nature. But what I am saying and what I want to show to you is the power of propaganda through the media.
Secret police who are masked, who are intimidating, who are scaring people. These Gestapo-like tactics.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, it does look like a Gestapo operation.
You posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force.
ICE agents, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
When you're directing a message to one particular group, telling them that masked men are hunting Latinos down, looking to disappear them in the dead of night, to which they will never be seen again, and you keep saying this lie over and over and over and over again to this one specific demographic, then the natural response is going to be when ICE comes around, these individuals resist and fight, and next thing you know, you have a 1,000% increase in assault against ICE agents. I'm not excusing the behavior, but what I'm highlighting and showing to you is the danger of spewing lies and propagandized nonsense through the airways regularly that then puts ICE agents at risk and ends up putting regular everyday people at risk too. So this propagandized nonsense has to come to an end. Stuff like this, like what you see from my troll-faced mayor, Karen Bass, cannot continue. Because when stuff like this continues, and you all know what video clip I'm going to play next, when you have DNC lunatics saying stuff like this,
amounts to hunting people that look like they're Latino. It's hard to get your car washed in LA now. Why? Because they prey on car washes.
When you're saying that Latinos are being hunted, that then turns into a situation that puts us all at risk whenever ICE encounters an illegal immigrant, right? It's propagandized nonsense coming from people like this that is putting us all at risk. And that's the point that I'm making here. Now, what I want to do for you right now is give you some examples. And one of the main reasons that I want to give you these examples too is also to dispel this lie, right? To dismiss and get rid of this lie that it's only Hispanic illegal immigrants that are being arrested and deported and are being targeted. That's just not true. That is a bold-faced lie. Let me show you this video here first, right? Look at this here from the ICE Twitter page. Chicago Operation Midway Blitz. ICE arrested Panamanian illegal alien Alfonso Sylvester Rollins Wheatley, whose criminal history includes battery charges from May of 2025. Cook County law enforcement arrested him on an outstanding warrant in July. At that time, we placed a detainer on him so we could pick him up at the jail. But because Illinois sanctuary policies, officials released him into the community instead. We were forced to make his arrest at large, but he went without issue. And I want you to see how this interaction went. So let's get into this clip next.
Eso fue un arresto. Deje que lo explique. Usted violó su derecho de inmigración, doméstico, federal o estatal. Usted fue arrestado. Lo que va a pasar, ahorita lo vamos a llevar a la oficina, lo vamos a procesar. Le voy a dar la oportunidad de llamar a su familiar. ¿Ok?
Look at how easy that was. Outside of the fact that this is a huge waste of taxpayer dollars to have to send this much enforcement to get one person because of sanctuary policies that won't allow ICE to go to the jails to pick them up. Outside of that, look at how peaceful this interaction was. No resisting. The guy just went along. And if you're paying attention, if you read the subtitles that were underneath, she was explaining to him why he was arrested, and that when we get down to the processing center, yes, you can call your family to let them know where you are and what's going on. Everything was fine, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, now let's look at this here. I want to go back to Twitter and pull this down and bring this up. Let's see. Shout out to Libs of Chicago, one of my favorite Twitter pages. Shout out to you, Libs of Chicago. Look at this here, right? A white illegal immigrant being arrested. A lot of you say that that's not happening, but it is regularly. His name is Arturas, I believe, Pivoris. I just butchered that name. A 41-year-old illegal alien from Lithuania who has been arrested for assault on a police officer, burglary, cocaine possession, criminal trespassing, and retail theft. This is the type of guy the leftists are fighting to keep in the country. This guy was going crazy out here in Chicago, okay? But he also went peacefully, and I want you to watch this interaction as well. So let's get into that now next.
Yeah, let us know what's going on.
Yeah, should have called us back, and then we would have done this on the street. Got the pizza card.
All ready. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Any medication that we should know about? Okay. Let's just get out of here. Okay. We have a warrant for your arrest. We'll show it to you in a minute. Okay.
Look at that. Another peaceful arrest. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You heard him say, we have a warrant for your arrest. We'll show it to you. I believe it said either when we get into the car, we get into the office. They're explaining to him what's going on. No issues, no big hoopla, no nothing. Now let's look at what, and I'll mind you, all of this is in Chicago as well. All this in Chicago and, surrounding Chicagoland area, surrounding suburbs, right? This is all Operation Midway Blitz. Now let's take a look at how these interactions go when you've been propagandized with lies that masked men are coming to disappear you, right, into the dead of night, and take you out into the abyss because they're hunting down Latinos. Let's see how this interaction goes in Chicago. Look at this.
With their license plate. If he speaks Spanish, ask him to tell him your name. We gotta know your name.
Y'all bogus as hell. Y'all bogus as hell, bro. Hey, y'all bogus as hell. Hey, y'all bogus as hell. Y'all ain't even supposed to be touching that man like that, violating his rights. Violating his rights, bro. Look at that excessive ass force, bro. Excessive ass fucking force. Look at y'all, bro. Savages. What the hell are you doing over there, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You fucking bogus, dog. Y'all bogus. Hey, ¿cómo te llamas, bro? ¿Cómo te llamas? Iván, ¿qué, bro? Urban. Hey, don't fucking touch him like that, dog. Don't fucking touch him like that. Hey, don't be choking him, nigga. Don't be fucking choking him.
Iván Candanero Urban.
Sí, diga su nombre, primo. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿De dónde viene? Hey, you fucking racist piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit, bro. You're a fucking piece of shit. I got his name. I got his name.
Candanero Urban.
Hey, y'all bogus. Y'all bogus, bro. Y'all bogus. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all shouldn't be touching people like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Don't touch me, dog. I'll sue you. Don't touch me. Alright, don't be chumming at me like that. Exactly. Alright. Y'all some dumb piece of
See the difference? I didn't want to interrupt it. I was tempted. I wanted to pause it so many times and interject, but I said, no, TD, keep it inside. Silence is key. It's golden, especially with this point that you're making here. Just let the video play and let it speak for itself, right? And we see the results of this. We see the results of DNC propaganda and how it's making people act a fool. Once again, it's not about dismissing it, because at the end of the day, we're all adults. These people are all adults, right? And you need to be able to operate in your own right mind and with proper discernment and just know how to conduct yourself without putting yourself in a bogus situation. But at the same time, we can't dismiss the propaganda. You can't dismiss it and remove that element from the reality that it's making people act crazy. You can't dismiss that. And then it doesn't help when you have idiots like the Emperor of the People's Republic of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, justifying and adding to the fear mongering by constantly in some way, shape, form, or fashion connecting what's going on with mass deportation, open borders, and illegal immigration with chattel slavery. Yep, Brandon Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, strikes again. The man who can turn any conversation and pull it back into slavery. He strikes again. Let's look at this here. It's going to be like nails on a chalkboard, but I think we'll be able to get through it together. Check this video out. I cannot stand this man. Lord of mercy.
Ripping families apart. It's not the first time this country has done this. And this is why it's important that as black and brown folks, we stand together. Because I come from a lineage which this country ripped black mothers and black fathers away from black children to build this capitalistic society. And they're doing it again. As I've said before, this is not hyperbolic. There are those in this country who still believe that the Civil War went the wrong way. And I just want immigrant community, whether you're documented or not.
This man can tie anything to slavery and the Civil War. It's exhausting, man, listening to this nonsense. It's exhausting. Anyways, let it play and let it finish out.
That this country has done these type of acts before, and that there are people who understand that. And because we do understand that, it's why I'm able to stand so boldly and so firmly in opposition to what this government is doing. Ripping families apart while abdicating their responsibility to actually fix our broken immigration system.
This man is a disgrace to his lineage, his heritage. He does an unbelievable disservice to the history and legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, black codes, the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade. He just does such an unbelievable disservice and just disrespects that entire history by making false equivalences like this. It's egregiously disrespectful. It's egregiously disrespectful what this man does, right? It is. I'm just at a loss of words sometimes, and I'm not really at a loss of words. I just can't say what I really want to say and what I really think about Brandon Johnson. So as we bring this video to a close, speaking of Brandon Johnson, as well as Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, at the top of this video, as the intro video, as I like to play sometimes, I should be playing a clip of Tom Homan, right? In which he speaks about how, Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker are harboring illegal immigrants, right? They have created a safe haven for them. And this news clip that I'm going to show you guys in closing really proves that, because some of you may know this, but some of you may not. In Rochester, New York, there was an illegal immigrant, 2, if I'm not mistaken, who kidnapped and a 13-year-old girl, I believe it was, in New York. And as opposed to staying in New York, they drove her all the way to Chicago, where she was found alive, fortunately. Why would you go from New York to Chicago? Number one, you're already, for the most part, relatively safe in New York. But for sure in Chicago, you are under a great deal of protection when it comes to J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. And that's why they traveled back to Chicago with this kidnapped 13-year-old girl. They didn't go anywhere else. They went to where they thought they would be safe. Now let's get into this clip in closing. This is a horrible nightmare for a parent with a great ending. So let's get into this clip next, and as we bring this video to a close.
We began with the latest on the safe recovery of a 13-year-old Rochester girl found near Chicago, a case that is also raising a lot of questions. Good evening, I'm Lowell Rose.
I'm Karen Edwards. U.S. Marshals say she was with 2 men who are in the country illegally. We're also learning the missing girl was not alone. The girl found in Blue Island, Illinois. 13 WHAM's Christian Garzone spoke with federal law enforcement today here in Rochester and has the latest. Christian.
Well, both of these suspects, an 18-year-old son and 49-year-old father, are being held by ICE in Chicago. U.S. Marshals warning parents what led up to this girl being swept away is something they all need to keep tabs on. U.S. Marshal Charles Salina with the Western District of New York says when they first got the case on Tuesday of a missing 13-year-old Rochester girl, surveillance video was key, showing the girl getting into a vehicle.
We determined, it was our belief, that one of the occupants of that vehicle was an 18-year-old male, and ICE determined who he was.
Authorities say that young man in the SUV was identified as being in the U.S. illegally and driving here from Chicago. The marshals here began working with federal officials in the Windy City.
So he drove from Chicago to New York, snatched this girl up, and brought her back to Chicago. That's scary stuff, man, how comfortable a lot of these guys feel, where they can just commute back and forth in between sanctuary cities and sanctuary states because they know that they're protected by Democrats. This is sick stuff and very dangerous.
Dropped everything they were doing. They made it a priority. They came up with a couple of good locations that they were focusing on and narrowed it down to a specific location Saturday morning.
The 18-year-old was taken into custody along with his 49-year-old father, who Salina says was also here illegally, also inside the apartment.
There was actually another minor girl in the apartment as well.
A 15-year-old. Both suspects are now in ICE custody in Chicago. Salina warning parents the suspects made the connection to the girl in Rochester through social media.
And parents just got to get in their kids' business, Know who your child is communicating with. You know the passwords to their cell phones, tablets.
Selena says this is the 11th missing child from the Rochester area they have helped law enforcement safely recover in recent months.
Keeping our children safe is just so hugely important to the U.S. Marshals Service and to all of law enforcement.
So this father-son duo was going back and forth between sanctuary states / sanctuary cities, kidnapping minor girls, underage women, or I should say girls, right? Kids. That's what they were doing. And they're doing that because they know they're protected. They're protected by Governor Kathy Hochul in New York. They're very much so protected by J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson in the state and city of Chicago, Illinois. They know that they are. They know that they are. And that's why they're able to do this and why they do it so brazenly and just without any type of care in the world. You're not even from this country. You're here illegally, but you feel comfortable enough to go from state to state back and forth, kidnapping young girls. Scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. And one thing's for sure, no one's going to sit here and demonize ICE to me. You're not going to sit here and demonize ICE and tell me that these people are out here doing bad work and terrorizing people. They are keeping us all safe. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platform. And please do not forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. That is extremely important that you do that. Please, the link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.